Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hey, good morning. There you go. Hello. How's everybody doing?
Slow moving here, but waking the brain.
Yeah, there you go. Good for you. A little bit of in trading, not so good. That's unfortunate. Hang in there. Um, I had a great morning with oil and had a great morning with oil. Never thought I would say those words would come out of my mouth, but anyway, I had a great morning with oil futures, and I'll share that uh, in a few minutes. So change of the way that I do things. My DOS subscription, end of an era. I've canceled it, and my renewal date was tomorrow, and I guess I lose access today, which is fine because I've been using it since 2021, I think, 2021, 2022. And I've come to the realization that for what I'm doing now, I've shared with you guys, I'm getting back into futures. I used to trade futures a lot in 2024, then wanted to get into options, which I did in 2025 and the beginning of 2026, right up until a few days ago. I was still taking options trades. But there are advantages and disadvantages to all products. And from what I gather, the only thing, let me finish my sentence. From what I gather, what works best for me now, for what I like to teach, for what I think people should get into sooner than later. After equities, I still believe that people should learn with equities, with stocks. But for capital preservation, for risk reward, for everything, futures are so fantastic. And TradingView is incredible. I was using it in 2020, 2021. It wasn't as near as powerful as it is now. So TradingView, it wasn't even, you couldn't connect to my broker back then, Interactive Brokers. So when I started using TradingView, you couldn't connect with IB. You can now. So anyway, all that to say, sorry, a very long-winded start to my analysis this morning, but I won't be having DOS on my screen anymore because I don't have it anymore. And what I wanted to say was the fact of having 10 tickers on screen, I'm going to miss that. I am going to see how I can replicate it. So if anybody has questions, if you have stuff that you want to discuss during this hour that I'm online, please don't hesitate. I enjoy sharing my path, what it is that got me into what I do now. And if you have any questions, I don't know if some people are scared to be on the mic. I get that. That's fine. It takes some getting used to. But put it in the chat. I'll try to remember. I don't always get the ding notification on the chat, but I'll try to remember to look at it. And I enjoy sharing my path. Anyway, all that to say that I will start my analysis. Check out this chart of oil tanker shipping ETFs since last year. Nobody knew about Iran war, right? How to add pictures. I think you can just copy and paste, or either that or put it in the in one of the sections of the Discord, and then I can share it on here. I can go and get it and share it. Good morning, Oliver. Okay, so here we go. Again, disclaimer, I don't read it every day, but I'm not a broker-dealer. This is not an investment advisory service. I do not ever, even with my own students, I never suggest where to get in, what to buy, what to sell. I just like sharing the information I've accumulated over the last 30 years. And this is for educational purposes. right? I'm a retired high school and university teacher, and it's what I enjoy doing. So no content presented constitutes financial, investment, or trading advice. You are solely responsible for your investment and trading decisions. Past performance obviously does not guarantee future results, and all investing and trading involves risk. But if you can figure this out, if you can figure risk to reward, this can work, right? So here we go. Thursday, April 9th. I no longer have my little clock at the bottom here. So 9:21. Those of you who trade the open, you know that I do not trade the first few minutes. Getting into futures, it is very unlikely that I will take any trade before 10 a.m. What I do from 9:30 to 10 is I look at the charts. I like sharing what you guys are looking at, and I analyze it the way that I see it. Okay, so things to know before the open. I've copied and pasted this here, but I haven't looked at it. Stock futures point lower as the ceasefire deal looks uncertain. That didn't last very long. I did read about this last night. It was part of the reason my oil trade went to my level. And then I took it short and then I took it long. So 2 successful trades. I got out of the first one, unfortunately, at a small loss, but it was successful had I left it on there, and I'll discuss it in a minute. But then the long on the fib levels was successful. It was great. So oil rising again as investors consider the path ahead of in Hormuz and what is going to happen there. Incredibly volatile market. It's not always like this, especially in oil. PCE report due out. It was out, and it came in at 0.3, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, at 3%. PCE, where was it? Right here. PC index, the forecast was 3. It came in at 3, so I'm assuming it didn't have much impact on the market. These were the numbers that were released this morning. So initial jobless claims a little bit higher than predicted, and core PCE index at 3%. As far as, while I'm on this screen, as far as later on, you've got the 30-year bond auction, which is a 3-star. I don't usually look at this, but it's at 1 o'clock. So if I'm in front of the computer at 1, or if I'm looking at getting into something, I will likely wait to see, will this affect the market? Because it can, right? That's why it's got 3 stars here. Disney planning layoffs under new CEO. Constellation Brands earnings hurt by Americans drinking less, hunting for value. I wonder if this has something to do with the Liquor Control Board of Ontario, the LCBO in Ontario, no longer buys American liquor. I believe that's still happening. I don't know if anybody can confirm with me. I don't drink, so I don't know if that's still true. But they were the largest single buyer in the world, because they buy for the entire province, and it is the most populated province in Canada. So it's absolutely having an impact. And the reason they've stopped it was because of the tariffs. So curious to know if that's part of the equation. As far as earnings are concerned, I saw that WD-40 is announcing earnings at 4.05. I'm assuming they have more than one product, but I just found that funny. I didn't know they were a publicly traded company. And as far as the economic calendar, we've already looked at it. So what I'm going to look at is trades that worked. My MCL trades short and long this morning. And then what didn't work? I was really hoping that my analysis yesterday on MNQ would work perfectly, but it didn't. And it's okay. You have to be okay with that. Let's look at that first. MNQ. Let's bring this here, and I'm going to replay and bring it right over here on the 5-minute. So this was what I was talking about yesterday, right before I logged off. I had put this level. Remember, I said, okay, we started selling here. So I started my fibs at the top, and then I put it wherever it was at 10:30, right? I said I'd put it over here, and then I want to see it retrace to the 50. But that wasn't where we started buying. This was where we started buying, right in here. Right? We dipped down, and then a lot of buying came in. And then this is where I put the bottom of the fib. Over here was where I started looking at the 50 to 61.8% retracement. So that's it, wicked into it. Once it wicked into it, I flipped over to the 2-minute. There you go. So the 2-minute, what you want to see is a wick up and a rejection of this level. And it didn't happen here, right? It didn't, it's not ideal. What you'd like to see is a candle like this one. Let me zoom in. Right in here, right? This type of candle here, or this type of candle here. That's what you want to see, is you want to see a dip. Don't forget, this zone was not here at this time. So hopefully that makes sense. This zone here was only printed later on, once the bottom was put in over here, right? But I'm just saying that this is the type of candle you want to see over here. We didn't get that candle there. So let's go to the next one. Here we go. Still no rejection. Still bullish. Now we're wicking down, still bullish. Right there. That was a really bearish candle. So this could have been an entry. That's what I said. And it wasn't. I didn't take this trade. And then that would be the entry, and you're hoping, and you put your stop above the highest wick. But at the end of the day, it didn't work. What did work was a second entry. Right over here. Let me put a level here. Right here. See how we've got this 5-minute fair value, sorry, 2-minute, but I think it was on a 5-minute as well. Maybe not, but we had this area of resistance. We came right back up to this area of resistance. I'll fast forward on the 5-minute. Not saying that I would have taken this, because I said I don't like it when it closes above 61.8. When that happens, I usually get out of or delete this fib. But somebody might have taken the second, this one, right? This, you can tell that we are selling over here. So an entry here, entry, let's say below the wick here, and you have to have a wider stop. And then you only have 2.5, and I didn't test this out, so I'm pretty sure it did work though. So the second one, I don't want to click for an hour here. Let's go like this. And let's fast forward to see who would it have hit. It definitely hit 1 point, maybe 2R over here. So anyway, that's what didn't work yesterday, but it didn't give me the entry signal that I like. So that's whether it you know, the 50 to 61% zone doesn't always work. I almost longed oil this morning, European time, missed the entry, but would have been right. I'm glad you got it. I'll explain in a second or in a few minutes what I saw, and it worked out really well. I shorted from yesterday's 50, and then I longed from this morning's 50. 50, when I say 50, I mean the 50% zone, or the golden zone here. All right, so let's look. I don't know if this is still pertinent, because I say the same thing pretty much every morning. If I were to be trading Apple, I'd be looking at room to the left of where price is right now. I like looking at the 30-minute. I like having the cams on my chart. And I like seeing that we are not in a lower range. I don't know why this is saying, oh, am I in replay? No. Why is this saying lower range? Because from the day previous to this day, we are in a higher range. So I'm not quite sure. Then the pivots are narrow, but we are in a higher range. Unless I'm reading something wrong here, but the 2-day pivot relationship from yesterday to the day before, we're in a higher range. So the area that's interesting is this area, right? This is where I'd be looking. So over here, I don't know whether it's going to be a long or a short, or I don't know if I'm going to get anything. But if it comes and wicks up above here, puts in a kangaroo tail, and basically shows that we are taking liquidity out of this area and start selling, this could be another rejection of this area. So I might be taking a short here. But if it breaks out of this area with momentum, like this candle looks right now, if we get another one, if the first 30-minute candle on Apple is prints like this and breaks out of this area, then I'd be looking at the retest of this level for a further movement higher. But you need to realize that this is possibly an area of resistance, and it coincides with our 6. So if you're taking along and the market's open, good luck to according to this, it's open. My computer clock is not synced, unfortunately. I don't know why. But if this were to reject, I would take it short. And if it breaks out and then retests, I could take it long. But I don't like that. Whenever you're taking it long over here, it would have to be above R4, and R6 resistance is really close. But those of you who know the chems, when we have narrow pivots like this, we could very easily break out of the range and keep going one way or the other. Okay. Questions, comments? I don't think I'm going to do this for every ticker because, again, they're all very similar. What do I want to do? I want to see, do we reject this area for a possible short? And again, I am going to put it on the 5-minute time frame, but I'm going to wait for the first, well, I'm not taking any trades because I have nothing set up in TradingView right now with my account, and I'm going to have to be careful because I obviously don't want to share on screen what my accounts are. So I haven't set anything like that up yet. Not in a hurry, probably next week sometime. And if somebody has, I'll get the upgraded version of TradingView in the next few days, and we'll see how it looks to have a bunch of windows open at the same time. So I'll come back in a minute to talk about my MCL trade. And again, I'm not doing anything in the first bit. Oh, I don't need to close this. I need to have something on screen. So if there's something that you guys want to have on there, instead of having the 10 tickers for now, I like looking at SPY. There we go. Yeah, I'll explain my MCL in just a few minutes. So if anybody's trading the open, good luck. I will have to get used to not seeing my 10 tickers because I've been looking at those for years. So it's very odd for me to not have that on screen and to not have access to DOS. But you know what? Change is good. So there we go. I'll be right back. There's news coming in about the markets dipping because of the uncertainty whether this ceasefire is going to hold. Let's put everything on the 5-minute now and let's see what's happening. Let's zoom in. 5-minute. Interesting levels on Amazon. Have not been here in a while. right? This is definitely room to the left, and this was where we had fibs yesterday, right? We started selling, and then look what happened when it got to 50. Once, twice, and then came down. Well, let's see what these first candles look like on Amazon. And I'll do the same for the other tickers. Not a lot of room to the left as far as Google is concerned, unless we look below price. Right, so this is breaking down here. So what I could be looking at is if we come back to S3. Right? You would have assumed that this would be support. Pre-market low, yesterday's low, but we're below that and decisively below it. So with this, I want to see, do we come back to this area? And if so, it might point to a short. That's what I'd be looking at here. S4 could be a potential support. So keep that in mind. But I put an alert here. And that's how I trade now. It's just, I'm not doing anything right where it is right now. The only thing I'd like to see, if later on it did end up putting a bottom here and then put a double bottom, then it is coming from a higher zone, put in a bottom and a double bottom. One of my plays is a double bottom reversal. Not a lot of them showing up lately, I'll be honest. But I set an alert here because this is the only place where I want to pay attention. Meta on the 5. Let's see what Meta's doing. Meta put in a kangaroo tail type of candle. It's not ideal just because it closed and put this this bottom wick on the candle, but this definitely is an area of liquidity. Right? We came above yesterday's high and rejected. So why did we reject? Were people selling over here, or could we just not find buyers? Or is it too early? Microsoft, 5 minute, another drop in Microsoft. Same thing with Microsoft here. If it were to come back and retest yesterday's low around this area, I'd like to be notified. Right? Because this is the breakdown. Do we come back and retest? And if it happens right now, I wouldn't necessarily be interested, right? Because then you're seeing, if it happens right at this candle, you're seeing the buyers are powerful. What I'd like to see is this big drop and then slow step climb, and then a rejection of this level, like a wick above it and then selling. So this could be a breakdown and retest. Most of my trades are break and retest. Even the cam trades are just a higher time frame break and retest. NVIDIA, a lot of indecision here. If it were to break down below yesterday's low and pre-market low, then I'd start looking at it for the possible retest, right? If it breaks down and retest lower, or if it comes down here and puts a wick, comes and gets liquidity in this area over here and then starts buying, it could be a buy opportunity. This, I think I was just talking about these levels yesterday when I put this in. Remove it. Remove this as well. And we are on the 5. So no direction on Tesla right now. Qs. There you go. So this was the big move up on Qs pre-market or post-market on Tuesday. I still wouldn't be surprised. My analysis from yesterday morning is still valid. I would not be surprised to see it come and retest this area. All right, so if I were short, my first target would be the 50% zone from this big, massive move. But you also have to look at, there was some selling yesterday at this level. So you could put fibs over here. And where did we start buying yesterday? We started buying right here. That's the low. Right? We rejected this area. We closed above it. But then now we're getting right into it again. So if we reject this level again, then it could be a short. And the target would be, I should have put a level there. I just don't like having all these here. Target would be over here. Alt H, let's put a line there. Right, even just above it. And then I'll remove these. Let's go to the shorter time frame. I'd like to see if it comes up back above here. I'm going to set an alert right here. I want to see what happens. Do we reject this level again? If so, it might be a short into this area. And let's see, would there be enough room? Let's say entry would be right where it is now with a stop above the wick. Can I get to 3R before getting to my possible area of support here? Yeah, 3.76. So just by looking at it right now, it could be a possible trade. SPY. 5 minute, and do the same thing on SPY. This was a crazy wick. So from here to the highs, this level right here could be a target if we short. But be careful, there's support here, here, and here. And we haven't seen as much selling in SPY as we did in Qs, I think. Q started selling right at the open yesterday. SPY started selling, but then came back. But this high over here to this low, we are right into that 50% zone again. Eric, long on, and I'll go back. Long in MGC. What does gold look like? Let's look at gold. These are the numbers from yesterday, right? Or from that news event. This is where we really started going long. This is where we rejected. This was the bottom. Oh, right. And I've got an alert on there already. So I set this up last night. I wanted to see, okay, what will it do over here? And that's what I want to see. What does it do once it gets into this range here?
I was looking at this. Good morning, first, guys.
Good morning.
I was looking at it from 4:30 in the morning, and I tried a couple of longs. I saw the consolidation during Asia session, and after Asia session, with the start of London, I was looking for the breakout. But it stopped me once for like half an hour of profit. The second time it stopped me for a full hour risk, and after that it did the move. I came in when the market opened, saw it on the 5 minutes. It was doing an ABCD. I took a quick scalp to the 800 level.
There.
Yeah, this is what I was just looking at. I didn't overstay my welcome. I know I'm taking this trade emotionally because I missed it. So I'm like, okay, let's be quick at least to make a buck and go.
Yeah.
Well, this is not the right way to trade, but
Hey, nobody ever said it was easy. It's emotions get in there, and once I talk about my CL, emotions got into it this morning. Emotions are a little bit different for me just because of the top step thing. You have limited drawdown. B, excuse me, I'm just getting back into futures, so, and I'm just realigning myself using new tools. I've never traded live traded futures on TradingView, and just getting back into that. I won't be here tomorrow. I actually have I'm going to Niagara Falls. I live we're an hour away, an hour and a half away, I think, from Niagara Falls, and there's an event for my daughters there this weekend. But there will be some downtime there, and I'm planning on really trying to figure out the trading with using TradingView. So I'll be doing that tomorrow, and hopefully when I come back Monday, I can really start putting on positions in here. Very small and likely in paper trading to start off. So anyway, just a little side there. Hopefully, Tarek, I don't know where your take profit or target is. There's definitely some consolidation over here, right? Before it broke down, retested, went down. A lot of consolidation over here. That's why I put this rectangle here that I'll take off now. I put on the sessions too. I like having the sessions here. So you have, right now we're above Asia high, right? That's a good sign. See how we're above Asia high? This were consolidated. Then we went up above Asia high, and let's put a line here. You know, we came just tested Asia high, and now we are putting in new highs. And this would probably be support if anybody were to take a short here. Let's say my 50% or a golden zone retracement. Let's say it shows up. I wouldn't want to be targeting Asia low. Longer term, maybe, but I'd want to be able to get 3R between wherever I entered to what is likely to be support. So what were you saying, Tarek?
I got it out because with all the incidents of this, what's going on with the trade, so I didn't hold it. But I was looking for 48.25. It might. This is a level from a monthly.
Yeah.
A monthly level. Yeah.
And I'm sure it's a level on the monthly, but look at where it chopped around, you know.
Yeah.
Chopped around there yesterday because it's a level on the monthly.
Yeah.
Right. So here's some analysis. See how it's touching right now. Right. So this was from the buying to the selling. I do not like it when these fibs go back 24 hours. I don't find them as accurate. But this was definitely a low. We started chopping around and buying, and now we've got some buying into this level. So what I do is, now that it's touched and my alert went off, I zoom into the 2-minute. I know that some people would short right now just because it touched the 50. For me, I want to see a rejection candle come in here. So I want to see a 2-minute rejection or 5-minute rejection candle in here. I want to see that we tried to make it into the zone and the zone rejected, and we found sellers or a lack of buyers. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put another alert just above this area, just in case I'm on something else. And we'll see. Does it wick in there and then reject? Then there were questions on here. When you get the premium from TradingView, you can have your favorite futures in different windows inside one tab, just like you did with DAS. Awesome. Tony, I might be asking you questions once I do it. I'll get it. I think I missed the sale. There was a sale a few days ago, and I think I might have missed it. And Avi says he's going to be online at 11 today. And let's have a moving average debate. I have them on here. I have one of them on here. I just, oh, that's a volume moving average. I try to have less indicators on my screen. If they're part of your strategy, then they work for some people, right? There's so many different strategies. I mean, there's people that will draw trend lines, right? They'll draw a trend line from here to, like this, and then draw a trend line. I'm just being, come on, just sharing that, there's so many different things that can work, and it just, you have to do your own back testing and figure out what works for you. Palantir down 6.5%. I don't know if anybody shorted PLTR this morning. So how did I get distracted there? I was talking about the questions. Oh yeah. I will be using, and hopefully I use the desktop version. Hopefully I can have a version off screen, and then what I share, I'd like to be trading off screen, account numbers and stuff like that, sizing, and I don't really want to share that at the moment. And just having my 10 tickers, and not even 10, Microsoft, Meta, I rarely trade those. So anyway, we'll figure things out by next week. They typically hold a sale on most holidays. The best one is usually Black Friday. Yeah, I know. What I do like about TradingView is that even if you're in a subscription, you can buy the sale, and it'll discount it for your renewal. So the way that their business model is right now, I don't get anything from TradingView, but not that we have thousands of viewers either, not yet. But it's fantastic. So good job, Tarek, on gold. Yeah, just ended a couple of days ago. Yeah, I was looking at it, but I wasn't 100% sure about DOS, and then I just decided DOS. I think I canceled it on Tuesday, or Easter Monday. It was like, you know what? I looked at my journal, and so not many trades. Sorry, I'm thinking in French here. I didn't take many trades in DOS, and moving forward, TradingView does what I need. I'm not scalping, right? DOS is so good for entries, tight entries when you're scalping. I don't scalp, right? I'll put in a level over here, and if I'll probably get filled at that level or very close to it with futures. So I think I got to everything here. Right, so those people that short right when it touches a 50, it could be working. Well, from my experience, I like it. This doesn't show that the area was rejected. Right, this candle is not, it's an indecision candle. I mean, if you really look at it very, very closely, it could be a tweezer top right at the 50. But even this 50, I mean, is it really precise? I think I drew it pretty precisely, but right, it's not at the penny. Usually, you have to give it a little bit of room. So I've got my level. It could chop around and then come and put the rejection in here. Right, that's what I'll be waiting for, and hopefully it happens after 10:30, after I'm off. And then I can actually concentrate and take this in my Top Step account. Okay, so let's look at MCL. Look at what I was looking at this morning. I don't need this anymore. I wrote this because I was talking about when I got Top Step. Need to try to remember what the selling. This was a paper trading thing that I was just trying out limit orders on paper trading. But the here, let's take this one off. Okay, so the higher time frame fibs that I had were from this area, from here. Let's take this one off. Which was there a news event over here? I think it was. There was a, let's take that one out too. So there was a news event, I believe it was yesterday, saying that there was a possibility of the ceasefire not holding. So I started a fib there, and I stopped it when we started buying again. So this was last night, right at 7 something. Was it last night? No, that was 2 nights ago. Sorry, I don't know if anybody's yeah. Anyway, I had this higher time frame level on here. So what happened was I had a level. I had an alert set over here, and look at where the trades are. When you look at the bigger picture, this was one trade right here, and this was a 3R trade right here that I took. Let's get back to why I took it. This level I had on here, I don't remember exactly. I don't document why I put them there, but I just know that I had this level here, and I had an alert, and it went off this morning. Went off at whatever 6:30 this morning. This is where I started looking at it. I wanted to try a limit order on in paper trading. Like I said, I'm just learning how to trade with TradingView. So this was nothing. This was a trade I took on Top Step. So let's zoom in here. So there was rejection of this level, right? Look at the wicks in here. What I went to one of my 2 accounts in the combines that I've got with TradingView, and I was waiting for a bearish candle, and I was going to do a 1-to-1. This was my entry after. I wish this thing, there we go. Let's get rid of it. So the bearish candle was this one here. I went short on the break below this bearish candle. So let's bring it back. Went short right there. I put the stop above here, and I was going to aim for a 1-to-1, but it wicked this candle right here. Let's remove this. See how it wicked right back up? When this wick happened, it looked really strong. It's like, you know what? I chickened out. I don't usually. It's the combine that you want to. It's completely changing the way that I trade, only because it's the combine and because it's Top Step. I mean, I probably won't be doing it for long because I don't like what it does to my psychology. But anyway, it worked. Right? It worked. I just didn't stay in it, and it was like half an hour loss. But it did work for the 1-to-1. What I did take was this. I'm going to remove this. So where did we start buying? Well, we started buying right here. This is where on the 5-minute we can see that there's 5-minute fair value gaps. So if we started buying there this morning, right in here, that was the high, right? Actually, I started right at the candle, right at this candle where we started buying. When we made a new high here, see how we're consolidating? When we made a new high on this candle here was where we saw an impulse buy, right up until the high here where it started retracing, right? Actually, I think I had it right on here. Yeah. So once it dipped into here, after I screwed up my 1-to-1 trade that would have worked over here, I zoomed into the 2-minute, and it started chopping around in here. And once it broke this high, I believe, right around here, I entered. I think I entered on the 1-minute. Yeah, right there. See this candle right here? Right there. Once it broke above there, and stop was below the lowest previous wick, and 3R, and it hit it right around here. And I took it off because oil has been so choppy and we were having trouble getting above here. But just in my normal account, once I start trading the normal account with that entry, we'd be at a 9R trade right now. Right. So even though the first one didn't work, and it did work, I just, my psychology got involved and it shouldn't have. But I drew, and I prefer using shorter time frame fib levels because we're looking at, this was where we started impulse buying. This is where it pulled back right into the 50, wait for your signal, go long. Worked perfectly. So like I said, I took this on Top Step, and it was like just that little move there, not real money, it's paper trading, but it was $1,000 trade, right? Or $900, and I had a 100 and some odd dollar loss before, so it ended up being like $800 just in this move. But this move over here, you'd be looking at 2,000. I'm working on a graphic that I'm going to share what the actual, what the risk was and how much you need in your account to be able to take a trade like that. I mean, if this were Avi, I mean, he'll say this could be $1 million trade, right? 10R, depending on what your risk is, right? I'm not there yet. Could be chopping over here. I've got my level on gold. What does MNQ look like? Let's remove this stuff now. Remove all that. Okay, so what do we got here as far as fibs? Well, most recently, where we really started seeing a move, right? We've a lot of buying over here, but then that's over. Excuse me. We started selling at the open yesterday. And this was the low. Came back up into this area yesterday. Now we're just chopping around in here. So in this area, for me, I do nothing. I have zero setups that allow me to take a trade on MNQ. MES is likely to be the same. Tarek, I don't think he's in. I didn't see when he was 10-minute on gold. I'll come back. If somebody can figure out with Google Meet how it can ding and let me know when there's somebody posting something in the comments, please share it with me, because I don't get notified and it's on this other screen and I don't see it. But look, we're just chopping around in here. There's not a lot of movement. So let's put the fibs on. This is where we started selling yesterday, right around here. Right? And there's nothing incredibly precise about these, but it's funny when you get into these areas, they tend to be very precise. Look at gold, right? Look at that. It's pretty amazing that, you know, is it a coincidence? I don't know, maybe. So we're chopping around this area again. Right. So for me, there's no trade here. There's no trade. If it were to come back up in this area over here, then there's room to the left. Then you look at a possibility of a rejection over here or a breakout, right? If it breaks out of this area, it could break out, then retest for the further move up, right? But for me, there's nothing in MES, MCL. Let's go back to the 5. Right, MCL, just for the fun of it, let's see what the fibs look like from this big impulse move down. The news, let's look at a few of them. Let's go right from the high to the bottom here. Right? Could we retrace into this golden zone before selling again? Or if we put it from where we broke out of this choppiness over here, right? There was support here. When we broke down from that support, making it right into that area right now. So all this selling here, are we retesting this level for a further sell? Don't know, especially with the fact that this is so news dependent, but this is a very interesting area, right? It's an interesting area as well because there's room to the left. And we have to go back to Tuesday evening before we are there. So this area is very interesting. Yeah, talking R's instead of dollars. Yeah. The only reason I mentioned dollars earlier, I do not mention dollars ever. The only reason I mentioned it was because everybody knows that to pass the top step combine is $3,000, right? You have to take your account from 50,000 to 53 on a $50,000 account. Now there's larger accounts, but I have been sharing that I'm doing the top step combine. I haven't had a lot of time and the markets haven't been, so it's taking me a little bit longer, but that's okay. It's, as far as I'm concerned, it's almost like paper trading. But no, I prefer talking about ours as well. It makes it way better for everyone, because then, 3R could be, if your R is $10, it's $30. If it's 100, it's 300. If it's 1,000, it's 3,000, right? And if it's 10,000, then your 3R is 30,000, depending on where you are. That was something that I struggled with at the beginning. Right? You're seeing people grabbing $40,000, $50,000 per trade, and here you are trading, with $10, $25, $50 risk. I like a quote that I read recently that said, don't compare your chapter 2 to somebody's chapter 20. What a great way to look at it. So anyway, off on a tangent I get again, just because somebody mentioned talking about ours. I don't know, anybody see anything in here? I am going to, let's do a little presentation here on sizing. Right, so that's what I love about futures. That's what I love about these levels, that you've got time to figure it out. So actually, I'm going to have to stop sharing for a minute. There we go. Okay. So I'd be looking at the possibility of taking a short. The short is then MGC. Well, let's look at MGC. With the top step account, it's $50,000 account. I'm thinking of, because you can't have huge wins. So the R would be $333. That way, if you get 3R, it's $1,000. That's just something I decided just recently. But anyway, we're looking at MGC. So there you go. There's gold. And let's look at the levels. Okay, so if it were to come up here, let's just say that it came up here, put in a wick, let's say around 48.10. Right, so my stop would be around 48.10. And If it wicked up there and I got an entry around, let's say 4,800. So entry 4,800, I'd be able to short 3 contracts. That's what this is. And then my target price, let's say 47.60. There you go. And that's the potential if I make it all the way down there. So that's a theoretical short over here. It won't be exact, and sometimes it happens faster, but you have an idea. You know, it's not 30 contracts. You know, 2, 3 contracts. That's around the risk that you're willing to take. So that's all I would do. If it made its way up here, trigger the alert, and then I would look for this type of candle right here. That is the 2-minute, right? A wick into the zone and a rejection of that zone. And then this one put in a fair value gap, which is great, but it's a short fair value gap on top of a bullish fair value gap. So not ideal yet. And that's pretty much the only thing I'm looking at. That MCL is interesting, but yeah, it's interesting. By looking at this level here and what it's doing right now, it's a big gap, right? A $3 gap. See the analysis on that one as well. So gold, MGC would be 3 contracts. Oil, right? If it came in here, let's make it a little bit more obvious here. There we go. Okay, so if it wicked in here, let's say stop would be this one. I want to be a little bit further away, maybe above this fair value gap here. The wick is at 102. So let's say your stop was at 102. First of all, change the product into MCL. Stop is 102. Entry would probably be around 100 and probably below this wick here, 160. So entry 160, 2 contracts for $333. So there you go. So if it were to come in here and reject, even I'd like it above this wick here, right above here. There you go. So if it were to come up here, reject and start selling, this could possibly be a short. Not ideal because of how long it took for this to happen. I prefer using, you know, something like this as far as the fibs, right? This is where we really started buying recently. But I like drawing these because if I do take a short here, I'd be looking at taking profit in this area. So I'm hoping to get 3R before it gets here, because this is the shorter time frame where we started buying. So we might just be pulling back in here to find more buyers. Okay, 15 more minutes and I'm going to head out. I'm actually going to go write something in the Discord saying that I will not be here tomorrow. And if there's something that you guys want me to put on screen here, please don't hesitate. MGC. MGC is stepping up there. Oh, what does it do in this area? It could just continue up, right? Definitely, it could continue up. But what I'm looking at is if it makes it in there and rejects this area, then it could be a short. Yeah, MES is and everything is just chop suey, somebody said. Yeah, it's a choppy mess. Looking forward to the days where we don't have this uncertainty in the markets. This has been difficult the last few months. Um, the beauty of trading in 2023, even 2025, just directional and follow through. You've had follow through. Now it's often no follow through. Right? We start selling and then it's just choppiness. So it's very difficult to trade this stuff unless you're a scalper and you can read the tape and you're aiming for 1-to-1, which can work if you've got a good strategy and just aim for 1R, 1.5, 2R, then they can deadline trading. Yeah. Oh, gotta look at this. I gotta make a phone call. Actually, 10 more minutes. Yeah, I'll give him a call in a few minutes. By the way, this is I'm still looking at gold here. Gold has been bullish. Right? We're making new highs. Right? So if it did come up here, you got to be careful to want to short here something that on the shorter time frame has been making new highs. It's been bullish. And you got to be patient. You got to wait for it to take out your level. Right? These big candles right here. It's like, okay, we're selling now. I'm going to short. Could just be a trap. So for me, my setup says to wait to see what it does in here. I really want to see selling coming in, so a wick and then a big higher volume on the sell, which I don't always have volume on here. There you go. There's my alert on oil. See what happens here. Above 101 a barrel again. So MCL. There you go. So let's look at it. Look at the 5-minute time frame, making its way in there. MCL, I said 2 contracts, approximately. I guess I can leave that there. All right, but this is very bullish right now. And fair amount of volume. This was a lot of volume right here. This is a bit of an anomaly, right? Big volume candle, but the candle rejected the highs here. But now we're breaking out above this candle. So right now I'm not looking at a short, not yet. See, now that we've put this wick in, if it were to come back down, my stop would be above. So 101.60, let's say. What did I have? I had 102. So that changes 101.60 now, depending on what the entry would be. By the way, as far as Camarilla pivots are concerned, when you're in a lower range, the R3 to S3 is a possibility. All right, but again, I want to see, now that we're in there, do we reject this level? We see a lot of selling over here. Excuse me. By the way, if it wicked up here and put in a 2-minute kangaroo tail in here and just broke the low here, I would not take it. I would not take it until it was below the 50 to 61.8 zone. Right? At this point, I wouldn't trust it unless it made a new low below here. And this is looking strong right now. But let's see. We keep buying. What's going on in everything else? Finding support at this range on Apple, AMD, copy mess, Amazon. I'd said above this level here might be a rejection area, right? And it did reject. Didn't put in a pattern that I would look at. Close though. Oh, so if this candle closed near the bottom and then the next one really sold, this could be a short indicator, especially that we are close to R6. Google. The breakdown and retest kind of worked, but didn't come and retest the level where I'd set an alert. Right, broke down. Look at a 2-minute. Broke down, retested into this area, and then rejected. Right, so short from there. but I wanted it to come back, and my level might have been a little bit too close. But yeah, rejected this level and then short. You'd have to wait for the break of a short candle. Let's say go on to the 1 minute, right? That was the breakdown. There's the retest. That is a bearish candle here. So go short on the break of the low of the bearish candle, stop above the nearest high, aim for 3R, and there you go. We hit it pretty much 2 minutes after entry, right in there. So the breakdown, retest. Had I been zoomed in on this, even though it didn't set off the alert, this is a nice pattern for the breakdown and retest. But again, to be able to go in full size on here with such a tight stop, you need a very large account. What's going on with, there you go. We're rejecting the highs here on Meta. Microsoft breakdown. The retest was very shallow, right? But went back down. Let's look at this retest, right? It's making new highs. Let's look at it on the 1 minute. Right? Retesting this area, but how do you know that that's going to be the area, right? It really started breaking down up here. So this one, I don't like it as much as the Google. Not much going on in NVIDIA. Tesla, breakdown, retest. Does seem like it's retesting. Let's put a level here. So this, depending on what it does over here, now it's just consolidating really tight range. It's likely to break out of this range. Higher or lower. This is where visually I don't put these on my screen, but I like just pointing them out. That's what we're seeing right now. And we're tightening this range here. So outside of this range, a lot of people trade this. I don't know why this happens. Keep saying it keeps kicking me out. Anyway, so this, I know a lot of people that trade this as a breakout and retest. So once it gets out of this triangle here, it could break out and then retest for the move up or break down lower. And I know that there's some people that trade as soon as it breaks out and put their stop above a recent high. Right, that works too, depending on what your strategy is. Okay, I need to make a phone call, so I think I'm going to head out. Finish off with looking at MCL here. This is still in the range. Right? Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. If it rejects inside here, it might be a big rejection, or it might just break out of this range and keep moving higher. And as far as gold, I was looking at as well. My level is still there. So this is something that might be 2 o'clock this afternoon when it hits, and then I'll look at it. But like I said, I will not be there tomorrow. I'll be back on Monday, and I think hopefully I'll have things set up a little bit better on TradingView so that we can look at a bunch of charts at the same time. So if you're still there, still listening, thanks for listening, and have a great weekend, everyone. And we'll see you on Monday.
Thanks very much, Gilles. Take care.
Okay, cheers. Take care. By the way, I believe Avi said he'd be in this Google Meet around 11 o'clock this morning. Okay, I'll try to log back in as well. Okay, bye-bye.